Welcome back, you guys. We are here for the second installment of this, shall we say, makeup series. And we're gonna start, like I said, I have my foundation on and we are starting right at concealer. Okay, so I had a question from the last video about foundation. Don't mind my foundation. It's a black sponge. I was asked where they can get this sponge from. This is a Sonia Kashuk body sponge. Got it from Target, $5 body sponge. I think that Real Techniques has a body sponge too, orange one. I don't know if there's a real difference between the two. I just grabbed Sonia and that was it. I like the black color. I'm a fan of black, if you haven't noticed. For me, concealer isn't as complicated as foundation, and I've actually tried myself to find a routine that I could do when I didn't want to wear foundation, that I could just slap on some concealer, a little powder, and go. You know, it's okay. You know, I've found, you know, I found some techniques that I can do that, but a lot of times I just don't like the look of me having a little bit of makeup on. I feel as, like I said, I feel as though if I'm gonna wear it, I'm gonna wear it. If not, I'm gonna just wear my skin. With concealer though, I know LA Girl Pro Concealer is a big one. I've got a few concealers that I have down here that I've tried and that I keep around because I like them. Again, my skin type is a combination dry. I am more dry than I am oily. So a lot of the stuff I use is hydrating and geared towards dry skin. So if you are someone who has oily skin, you may not want to use the hydrating products that I use. I know a lot of them do have a more matte or non-hydrating formula that is available too. But this is what I use. This is what I use. And I'll show you the colors. I'll show you the brands. Let's get started. Okay. For concealer. With the LA Pro Girl concealer, I know, and I mentioned that because it is a very common over-the-counter type of concealer that you can get. For me though, for LA Girl, it's not giving coverage. Some people may be able to, you know, apply enough to get the coverage, but then that defeats the purpose of the look I'm going for with the no makeup look. I don't want a face full of makeup. Now, if you want the full beat down, full coverage, then definitely you can add on until you get the coverage that you want. I'm trying to go light and that's it. So when I'm looking for concealers, when I'm going through them, I am looking for the most coverage with the least amount of makeup, honestly. I know it sounds impossible because it probably is, but I've gotten to a point where I think I found one that works to give me what I'm looking for. The LA Pro Girl is good for color. So if you're looking just to highlight, and that's the difference when we talk about concealers. You know, back in the day, we wasn't doing so much of the highlighting as we were concealing to cover spots. And you know, when I was younger, you know, trying to start out with makeup, I was going to the MAC Studio Concealer in the little pot, that little small pot that they gave us, and you would literally get your finger in that little pot and kind of dab over spots that you wanted to spot conceal. People still do that. Like, people still do that. Concealer is not just for highlighting. I may try a routine where I try to spot conceal before putting on my foundation, but my problem is that I oxidize with foundations, especially with MAC, so I have just kind of strayed away from using that, you know, old school pot method, you know, spot concealing. But that is still a thing. I think people now have found such full coverage foundation to where you don't need to spot conceal anymore. So it's not such a thing to conceal with concealer as it is to highlight with concealer. I highlight with concealer. I still do have a darker under eye. It's not bad, but it's visible. And so I want a concealer that can cover the darkness I do have, while still giving me the highlighting color. So like everyone says, you are looking for 2 shades lighter than your skin color. I do not go more than that. I'm not trying to ghost out. That's where you start to get, you know, you can start to look ashy with something too light for you, including concealers, not just foundation. Concealers I use. My go-to is I'm gonna take the top off this one. It's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. I am in the color Caramel. I'm gonna show you a closed, it is Maybelline Age Rewind. Instant Age Rewind, okay? It comes with a little, on the concealer itself, it comes with a little puff ball. It's one of those concealers that you're literally gonna crank and then the product comes through the sponge. Is it sanitary? Probably not the most of the sanitary of concealers, but it's your face. You are not using this on anybody else's face but yours. You do not use sponges that you use on yourself on other people. So make sure that you're not keeping this longer than what the product advises. Replace your concealers, especially when it comes with sponges like this. But I use the color Caramel, and for me, I get the coverage and I get the color. When I'm not using the Magic Eraser, I do use the Born This Way concealer. This is in the color Butterscotch. It is by Too Faced, and this is a little mini one because I do not use a lot of this product. I don't buy, if I can avoid buying full size of anything, I don't. I buy the minis. Because one, I replace them. I don't keep the same makeup for years and years. I do replace my makeup. I do not want bacteria growing. Replace your makeup, y'all. Don't keep it for, you know, 3 years and beyond because there's still product in there. But Born This Way, I do like this concealer. It is a full coverage concealer. The Instant Age Rewind by Maybelline, it's a buildable concealer. So it can be full coverage. You just have to maybe apply more than one. You know, go past. I'll show you guys putting it on. How I do that. I do like to stick with hydrating concealers. e.l.f. has a hydrating camo concealer, satin finish. This is definitely a full coverage concealer. This color is a little lighter than what I typically like to go with concealers. So I only use a little bit and spread it out. Sephora brand has a concealer. I use number 13 Caramel. It says it's a Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer. It is on the more hydrating side. So it is on the more hydrating side. It is thinner. It's not thick. It's but it goes on smooth. That's another thing, especially under the eye is creasing. I think that also, it just doesn't have to do with skin. I think it has to do with concealer as well, the consistency. Because if you have a good consistency on the concealer, it gives you time. You do need to set it. If you crease, meaning you have wrinkles under your eye that the makeup sets in, we do need to set it in order to prevent it from creasing. Y'all have to excuse my nails too. I'm taking off polish. I'm gonna redo my nails. Give me a break. But okay. Another concealer I use is NYX. Can't Stop, Won't Stop. I've tried higher end concealers. Like, I used to really like the Kevyn Aucoin concealer. That was a real nice hydrating concealer. I'm looking at my makeup shade right now, trying to see if I'm missing anything. NARS Radiant Concealers, Radiant Creamy Concealers. I do love NARS concealers. I do use Caramel with NARS as well. I just think I haven't replaced my NARS because Maybelline is doing the job and it's definitely half the price. So I will eventually grab NARS again just to play with her, but right now I'm enjoying Maybelline. I do use NYX. NYX, love you down. NYX is one of my favorite drugstore makeup brands. Love them. I use the Can't Stop, Won't Stop concealer. This one is in Warm Honey 15.9. It is a full coverage concealer. It is not, I would not say this is hydrating. It's not super drying though. It leaves a beautiful finish. It is full coverage, like I said. But you have to be careful because concealers do oxidize as well. And Can't Stop, Won't Stop concealers do oxidize. So you need to go, for me they oxidize dark, they don't turn, I won't say that. They are a little hint of orange when they oxidize, but they're not bad. So I can go a little lighter than I normally would, like going lighter as in what I did with e.l.f. Mind you, the e.l.f. ones did not oxidize on me. The Sephora concealers did not oxidize on me. The Too Faced did not oxidize on me. We're talking concealers, not foundations. Maybelline did not oxidize. These concealers did not oxidize on me. But the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop concealer did oxidize. I have a NYX Born to Glow Radiant Concealer. This is more of a hydrating comparison to the Can't Stop, Won't Stop. So if you're looking for a more hydrating concealer from NYX, it also has a puff ball tip that you squeeze the product through. So please do not share your concealers. Keep the bacteria to yourself. But it gives a really nice coverage. It does not dry down too matte. So if you don't like that dewy look, you can always set it with a powder. But it's very beautiful. You can see the range of concealers that I have on my hand, and they're all very nice coverage of concealers. They're the ones I keep around. I don't throw these away, unless it's time. But, I am one that if I just don't feel like returning, I'm gonna just toss it. But these ones have not hit the toss bucket. You'll know the e.l.f. ones are hydrating by the tops. The hydrating ones are white. The regular ones are black. I do have both. I wanted to try out both, and I do prefer the hydrating concealer when I'm using it. I just need to maybe change the color that I use. But yeah, these are my concealers. I currently use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I feel as though it gives me the coverage and the look I'm going for. And this, it does, by me looking at it, eyeing it, it does look like a cool tone concealer. If I had to pick an undertone. And not gonna lie, sometimes I do catch the coolness when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, but to me it's so minimal. I'm not catching it enough to make a change. That's what I should say. So I'm gonna twist and we're gonna apply. I'm gonna show you where I apply. Like right there, it doesn't have a lot of product on, so I'm gonna twist it a couple more times. I know you see some people applying concealer, they make shapes, they make arrows, lines. I am simply getting the area I want highlighted. I go down my nose, I hit my chin, and we're hitting areas that the light naturally reflects on your face. So, and I'm not doing a lot. It's really not a lot. I have my sponge here. I use sponges. I do have plenty of brushes that I use. I just gotta be, it depends on what I'm in the mood for. And honestly, I use sponges because of the fact that they do soak up a lot of the makeup. Brushes are very, especially if you have a dense brush, you're just moving makeup. Sponges do soak up makeup. So you'll, if you use too much makeup on your face and you want to kind of draw back some, apply it with the sponge, blend it out with a sponge. If you want that full coverage, you don't want a sponge to take anything, you want everything on your face, use a brush. I'm gonna use a sponge, and you can use a blend, you know, beauty blenders are basically the most common sponge. I think this sponge actually came from Tarte, and I actually myself, I prefer this Tarte sponge. It comes purple. It comes purple. And I'm just applying this concealer. I'm patting. I'm just simply patting. Let me pull you guys in. I'm just simply patting this in. I'm not rubbing. I'm not dragging. You know, as you dab, you know, I'm going up. Is this how I go? I bring everything up. I'm not dragging down my face. Literally patting. And you don't have to worry. Wherever you pat, you start where the makeup is and pat outwards. That makeup is going to travel with your sponge. You don't have to pull. We never pull, especially under the eye. Simply patting. And you do see there's a line there. We're not going to worry about that right now. We are not going to panic. Because when we use our bronzer or your contour, if you choose to use contour, we shade in those areas and everything blends out. The key to makeup is all blending too. I'm patting. I'm not taking away. I'm not rubbing. Simply patting. If you want to cover more area, like on my chin, I have a few more spots that even this little light concealer helps to. This little light concealer will help to minimize the darkness on your spots. It doesn't take them away. It could take them away if you really wanted it to take it away. Don't get me wrong. You could really, you know, take the concealer and apply enough to make it a full coverage and cover those spots you want to do. But this is simply just for me to highlight. We're highlighting with this. So after concealer, we're just going to include this in. I set. And don't get me wrong, I do love a good setting powder. There's so many different setting powders. I probably won't make a video on setting powders because it'll be really short. I will if you guys really want me to. But I do use Laura Mercier for setting powder. I started with the translucent. And this is the translucent honey. Of course, it's a mini. Y'all know me. I did use that. But then I also prefer my girl, NYX. It's a stay matte but not flat. It is a powder foundation. I set my under eye with the powder foundation. It's really light. I don't know what it is about this. It's in caramel as well. You know, I can do everything. Anything about concealer is going to be caramel for me. I cannot do a caramel foundation though. Okay, I take a brush. This is a MAC 150 powder brush. I was going to take this in there, honestly, and it's really light. You can flick off any, stretch that face out, look up, and we're just patting. We're not dusting. This is a I'm patting. Okay, you want to pat when there's no creases. You want to set, so if you looked up and you saw deep set-in wrinkles from your concealer, You need to get your sponge, stay looking up, get your sponge, flatten out all that makeup in the creases. Sometimes you got to stay looking up, work with your hands, know where everything is, set this in, and pat while you have that flatness in order to prevent the crease. Okay? That's the only way sometimes that you can prevent the crease. You have to stay looking up to keep the lines away. Me, I'm not baking. I'm not baking either. I think baking is for more full coverage beat downs. So if you are doing full coverage, you can definitely bake to set your concealer, you know, and baking is simply getting your setting powder, packing it on the area that you put the concealer, and leaving it there, not dusting it off, allowing everything to set in. The problem with baking is that a lot of people get flashback after baking, depending on the kind of powder you use. And when they take their pictures with flash, they look like, you know, they look crazy, like raccoon, crazy, you know, white circles where the concealer was, they don't look good. And if you're taking pictures is important to you, the reason why you're doing the whole beat down, you got to be careful with that. But that's it. Honestly, that is how we've gotten down foundation, concealer, and that is it. You know? I'm gonna zoom in here. After I do this, I do usually go in with my bronzer, warm everything up, you highlight, and then you need to warm up your face. So the same way you highlight the areas that light naturally hits your face, you have to bronze or warm up your face the naturally dark areas. I have natural dark areas around my forehead, down my cheeks, around my jawline. So I still hit those areas too. We're creating a natural face with makeup. Okay? Corrector. I'm not one that uses corrector, especially even on the little dark areas I don't use corrector. I'm not going for that full you can't see a spot look. It's I feel as though if you are in front of a camera or you just do not want you want that flawless look with nothing showing, then definitely you can try color correcting. But I'm already fighting orange with foundations. I don't want to fight an orange by self-sabotage. That's just my take. I'm gonna finish my face now and I'll see you back. Okay, you guys, this is the final product. Again, today, it is concealer. It is concealer under the eye. Don't mind that little eyeliner spot we got. You know, this time, the makeup playthrough, oh my goodness. Me actually doing my makeup, it wanted to, my brows wanted to fight me, my lashes wanted to fight me, but we will not be defeated in this series. We finished this out with the concealer today. I'm trying to keep, you know, the lips and the eye the same so that we're not, you know, let me back this up, so that we're not it's not throwing anybody. You know, I want it to be uniform, same ending. We're just getting the routine down step by step. We're not switching it up. This is just the routine. We're getting the routine down. I think we are on our way. Concealer, again, this was the Instant Age Rewind Concealer. It is the Maybelline. I used the shade Caramel for the concealer, and I think we did pretty good. I got a couple more videos to film today. Knock those out, and then I've got some filming to do this week. We are preparing for the ball. I'm really trying to get these videos out before the ball, so that if you wanted to really try to do your makeup for the ball, you could with no problem. And you can show up and tell me, girl, I did my makeup watching your videos and it worked. We look fabulous today. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe, leave a comment, and like the video. Make me feel good. And I'll see y'all in a little bit. Peace.